Okay, so now we will start with to draw a network for this this project. Okay. Okay, so to draw a network, first we will start with start. Okay. Start. Okay, so start. Okay, so which one is the start activity? Okay, so can you determine which one is the activity that you can start with, that you don't have to wait the previous activity to complete? Which activity? A, A and B. Okay, A and B. Why? Because they don't have an immediate predecessor. Means that you can start immediately A and B. Okay, so network we will use nodes to represent activity. Okay, A and B. Okay, all right. So C can start when A is complete. Okay, so when A complete, then you can start C. All right, so D. Okay, so D can start when
AB finish.
A B. Okay, so A and B. D, start D. Okay, so this is a node. Okay, so this is an arrow. Okay, undo. Can I undo? Okay, so arrow this line. So when you have to wait for two activity to complete, then you must have two lines here. Okay, two arrow here. Okay, all right. So means that to represent that D can only start when A and B complete. Okay. All right. So E and F. Okay. So E and F will start only when
Finish.
C complete. Okay, C complete. Okay, so when C complete, you can start 2. Okay. E and F. Okay, so E and F. Okay, and then G can start. You can start G when D and E complete. Okay, so G is after D and E. Okay, so F, sorry. G start when E and D and E is complete. Okay, and H will start after F and G. Okay, so this is H. H here. Okay, right. Right. Okay, so then H is the last activity. So when H complete, then the project is complete. Alamak. Okay, alright. So now you have a network here. One network to represent this project. Okay, so can anyone guess? But if you refer to the slide, you already know the answer lah. Okay, but can anyone, if you don't refer to the slide, then anyone can anyone guess the duration for this project to complete? For those who refer to slide, just keep quiet. For those who you don't have a slide, then you can answer that. Okay. Right, just to see if you don't have any idea about this project, then can you guess the duration for this project to complete? Okay, so everyone has a slide. Okay, all right. Then I will show you how to get that duration. All right. Okay, so before we can identify the duration, first you have to identify every path that in this network. Okay, every path that connect from the start until finish. Okay, all right. So before that, I have to warning you. Okay, or remind you. Be careful about the last activity. Okay, some students in the exam they confuse. Okay, when they put G and H like this. Okay, sometimes students confuse themselves. Okay, not the question, but you confuse yourself. Okay, all right. So finish. There can be sometimes two last activity. Okay, two last activity. So some student that get confused because G and H is the last in like this in this network. So they put another arrow to the finish. Okay, so be careful because this is will affect when you want to identify the path here. Okay, path. So then if you put G is the last activity, then definitely cannot get a full mark for this. Okay. Alright, so first we have to identify the path in this network. Okay, path means that you should the way that from start until finish. Okay, so first I say let me see. We have A, C, F, and H here. One path. Okay, and then we have let me use a different color. We have A, C, E, G, and H. A, C, E, G, H. Okay, right? Okay, so next we have A, D, G, and H. Okay, so this is the third path. Okay, so from start until finish. Okay, all right, and then we have the next one is B, D, G, H. Okay, all right. So is there any path that is still any available path?
Oh,
No, ini complete kan? Have 4 path here. Okay. All right. So 4 path. Okay, then you have to write A, C, F, H. A, C, E, G, H. And then we have A, D, G, H. B, D, G, H. Okay, B, D, G, H. Okay. Alright, for path here, for path available in this network. Okay. Alright, so after you identify path, and then you have to calculate the time for each path. Okay, so how you can calculate the time for each path? Then you can put the time duration for each activity here. Okay, 2 plus C need 2 weeks to complete plus F 3 weeks to complete plus H 2 weeks to complete. Okay, so this is 2 plus 2 plus E 4 weeks. Okay, so plus G is 5 weeks plus H 2. Alright, so A 2 weeks here plus D is 4 plus G is 5 plus 2. H B is 3 plus D 4 plus 5 plus 2. Okay, right. So now you can calculate the time duration for each path. Okay, so this is 4, 3, 9. 9 weeks. Okay, 2, 4, 8, 8, 15. Make sure I write the duration is correct. Okay, please double check. Okay. Alright, ADGH 2, 4, 6, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 11, 13. 7 plus 7, 14. Okay, so time to complete for this duration is 9 weeks. Okay, ACFH. Okay, the time to complete the second path is 15 weeks, and then 13 weeks, and this is 14 weeks. Okay, all right. So this is the time for each the duration for each path. Okay, so combination a few activities. Okay, so now you have to select the longest path. Okay, we use the longest path to identify the duration for the project. Okay. Alright, so which one is the longest path?
ACEGH 15 weeks.
ACEGH 15 weeks. Okay, so this is the longest path here. Okay, so this is the longest path, mean that the duration, okay, duration for this project duration, okay, is 15 weeks. Okay, alright, so the project duration based on the longest path here. Okay, so to complete this project, need about 15 weeks. Okay, critical activity. Critical activities is A, C, E, G, and H. Okay, so means that the project project manager cannot delay this activity. Okay, so this is a critical activity. Okay, A, C, E, G, H. Okay, so this is a critical activity. Okay, so if A need 2 weeks to complete, then the manager has to complete A within this 2 week only, cannot delay. Okay, however, you can see B. Okay, so B, D, F is non-critical activity. Okay, it can delay a few weeks lah. Okay, but be careful. Also, they have to manage that non-critical. If they want to delay the non-critical activity, is not more than the critical. I mean that not more than critical activity lah. Okay, means that A, C, F, H ni you can delay about for 6 weeks. Okay, A, C, F, H. You can delay about 6 weeks. Okay. But when you added this path, okay, can delay about 6 weeks. But A is a critical activity, C critical activity, and H also critical activity. Okay, means that you can delay F about 6 weeks. Okay, even though this path can delay, but still you cannot delay or postpone a critical activity. Okay, so this activity you can delay about 3 weeks. Okay, so 3 weeks. 2 weeks. Okay, so A is a critical activity, G critical activity, and H is a critical activity. So you can delay D about 2 weeks only. Okay. Alright, so B, D, G, H can delay 1 week. Okay, so G critical and H is a critical. So you can delay either B or D only 1 week. Okay, so to manage like they have to manage like after you identify which one is the critical activity and which one is a non-critical activity, then you can see which activity that you can focus more compared to the non-critical activity. Okay, however, if you want to delay the non-critical activity, you can delay, but not delay not more than the critical activity, so that you will not affect the project duration. Okay, project must complete within 15 weeks. Okay, this is estimated project duration lah, about 15 weeks. Okay, so based on this network. Alright. Okay, so do you have any question?
Madam, can I ask about something?
Huh?
I want to ask about something.
Yes, you can ask.
How we can determine the project that we can determine that project that we can cancel? How we determine it?
Cancel project?
Yeah, the project that we can, the project that we can delete or maybe cancel.
You mean a project or activity?
Activity.
Oh, okay. Cancel. Either delay or not. Okay, so cancel. Okay, so this you have one project. Okay, all right. So one project, and then based on that, to complete that project, you have to identify the activity that you need to complete that project. Okay, all right. So in this case, I'm not sure what project is it because I don't have a textbook here. Okay, so to complete this project, they already identified this activity. This is the must activity that must have to complete that project. Okay, so that's why be careful when you want to plan the project. You have to identify carefully about the activity for that. Okay, you cannot include the activity that is not relevant. Okay, example okay, so this is because this is a project in business, so you might cannot realize. Okay, so for example, in your case, you have one project. Okay, you have one assignment that you have to complete within, let's say, your lecturer give you one project, start from the beginning, the second week until you have to submit before week 13. Okay, so you have a starting time and finishing time. Okay, so that is a project. Okay, must have a start and finish. Okay, if there is no duration, then that's not project. It's a normal activity. Okay, all right. Like your registration, you have continuously to register and attend the class, lecture, and then exam, and then break, and then register again. So that is not a project because it's a continuously. Okay, all right. So project, you have an end time. Okay, so when you have a project, okay, when you get assignment, so you should identify which activity that you must complete in way to complete your project. Okay, all right. So be careful to select the activity because you don't want to include the relevant, not relevant punya activities, because in your case it might be not affect the cost. Okay, in your case might affect your time. Okay, let's say you to complete your assignment, you need first to form a group or teams. Okay, all right, and then find the information. Okay, find information and then discussion, and then or assign tasks, and then discussion, and then write up, and then write out the report, and then do I mean that double check about the assignment, and then binding and submit. Okay, so you identify the activity. Okay, so that you don't want to include the not relevant, so that you don't have to cancel that activity in the middle of the project. Okay, all right. So you don't want to include that some things that what is the non-relevant activity in your case? Oh, example. Okay, so okay, let's say in your case, okay, of course, when you determine the activity, you determine to do you don't want to do the interview 2 times or 3 times. Okay, so let's say to get the information a few times. Okay, now we want to set the activity. Okay, so after we form the group, assign the task, and then we interview to 2 days, and then interview again, and then we discussion, and then interview, and then discussion. So many discussion and then so many interview. Okay, all right. So you don't want to include that non-relevant activity. So we just do one interview, and then we get all the information, and then we discussion, and you complete. Okay, so it's more efficient when you manage the project if you can determine exactly what is the relevant activity. Okay, so you have to avoid, when you plan the activity, you have to avoid the activity that you need to cancel in the middle. Okay, in the middle. Okay, unless if you do a project for business. Okay, for business, let's say in this case, if you have the customer, okay, you have the client, okay, and then in the middle of the project, client say, okay, we don't want you to, let's say you want to construct a park, let's say one park, okay, recreation park, okay. So recreation park, okay. So you already plan what the activity that you need to for this recreation park project, okay. And one of the activity and that compulsory, let's say you have to build one extreme park, example, okay, extreme park in that recreation park, okay, all right, okay, example. But however, in the middle of the project, your client say, okay, we don't want this extreme park. We want this area to put full of flowers. Okay, want to put flowers so that people come here to see the flower, different of flowers. So then you have no choice. You have to cancel that activity. You have to replan, manage. Okay, develop a new project network, so that this is always happen. Okay, when you do a business, when you have a client and client have to change the want to change the design activity, even though you build a house. Okay, so let's say you contractor, okay, a contractor, you have one project, and then you already plan, your client say, okay, we want this kind of house, okay, 2 storage and 5,000 square foot, and we want this design. In the middle of the project, then they cancel they cancel that design, and then you have to replan. Then you have no choice, you cancel. That's for cancellation activity. Okay. Alright, so for the second question, you asked me which activity that you can identify, which one is you can delay or you cannot delay. This is based on this one, the critical activity. Okay, so after you identify which one, you already identify the longest part. If you use the software, okay, software automatically generate every path for you. Okay, and then okay, so based on that path too, then you identify the critical path. Okay. Okay, you have a project because when you want to do a project, a business project, you have a lot of activity, very complicated. Okay, so you cannot plan like this, build an internal component only. You have to put sub activity under that main activity. What you need to complete to build the internal component. So many things under that. Okay, all right. So this is very general lah. Okay, very basic. Okay. Alright, normally when we plan a project, okay, build internal component under that the sub work tu, okay, besides the more details activity, then you have also to assign the resources, okay, because you have to identify the resources, you want to determine which one is the critical, like resources is very critical, okay. Alright, so okay, so based on this network, okay, so you have the longest path, okay. So based on the activity in this longest path, all is the critical activity. This activity you cannot delay, okay. So in this example, the simple example here, you can see that A, C, E, G, H, you cannot delay. You must complete within the duration, okay. If you plan A is 2 weeks and then you need all these resources, you must use resources very efficiently that you can complete within 2 weeks. Okay, means that if you delay activity A, okay, from 2 weeks you complete only up to you complete more than 2 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, it will delay the whole project. Okay, A should complete in 2 weeks, but you complete it in 3 weeks. Okay, so there very high possibility that your project cannot complete within 15 weeks. Okay, it will complete in 16 weeks or more. Okay, unless after A is complete after let's say A complete 3 weeks, or then you realize, oh, we already delay the critical activity, then you have to replan for the rest of critical activity. Okay, means that maybe C, okay, so we have to make it to complete it less than 3 weeks. Okay, then that's where come another methods which is not covered in this in this course. That activity we have to calculate that when we want to finish each activity less than duration that you plan. Okay, so it involve crash course. We have a crash course, involve course that is quite difficult. Coordinator don't want just take it out from this course. Okay, so it involve cost. So yes, you can make it shorter for critical activity if you already delayed another critical activity. Okay, you can make it but you have to add additional there is an additional cost lah. Okay, let's say you have because if you need 3 weeks, okay, no, the C is 2 weeks. Okay, you need 2 weeks to complete it. If you have to complete it within 1 week, means that you have to add resources. You have to ask your workers to work more overtime. Okay, so overtime means that extra cost. Okay, you have to pay extra cost, and then you have to add resources. Okay, material that time involve supplier. Okay, so there's an additional cost. Yes, you can make it. You can complete it with less than the duration, but you have additional cost here. Okay, but it will not cover in this cost. Okay, only that in this course only we discuss with you how to identify the project duration, and then identify the critical activities only. Okay, so based from this critical activity, okay, A, C, sorry. Okay, so this A, C, E, G, and H is the critical activity. You have to manage these activities properly. Okay, but this non-critical activity also is not means that you don't have to manage this. You have to manage, but if you want to delay, yes, you can delay, but you cannot delay more than this period. Okay, so be careful if you want to delay the non-critical activity. Sometimes you delay the non-critical activity, then make it your project longer than it should in the project in your planned project duration. Okay. Alright, understand? Okay, in this case kan, you can see that the duration here is 14 week. BDGH is 14 week, but duration for the project is 15 week. Okay. Alright, so that you can delay, okay, all here you can delay 1 week, okay, so that you can complete within the duration, okay, only 1 week, okay. But you have to remember that G and H is already critical activity, means that you cannot delay the G and H. You only can delay B and D, okay, so B and D. But B and D, you can delay either one, B or D, you can delay only 1 week. Okay. But you can see here, okay, so this path, okay, this path, ADGH, okay, so ADGH is 13 week. Okay. So 13 week, but it means that you can delay 2 week. Okay. ADGH, you can delay 2 week, but A is critical, G is critical, H is critical. So based on this path, D, you can delay about 2 weeks. But remember here, D here, okay, either B or D, you can delay only 1 week. Means that you can, even though in this path, you can delay 2 weeks, but you cannot, in this path, D is cannot delay 1 week, means that you cannot delay D more than 1 week. Okay, only 1 week. D need 4 weeks to complete, but you can complete it within 5 weeks only. Even though in this path it allow you to delay 2 weeks, but remember you have another path will affect another path. Okay, so if you delay 2 weeks D, because of you can see they allow you to delay 2 weeks here. Okay, so D this you will make it, this is 16 weeks. Okay, if you delay 2 weeks. Okay, so this is 16 weeks. Okay. So 60 weeks is longer than the project duration. So now this is become a critical activity. Okay, so that's why you have to manage the project ni, you cannot see only one path. You have to make it synchronized, so every activity in all these networks. Okay.